paper on the back side of the rubric. I've talked to each team about this, so you should all know what's going on with that rubric, okay, or those two papers. One's a packet that's due like at the end of September, okay? It's a 300-point thing. You'll be adding pages and notes to it. It will be like a portfolio at the end. The other page is a short-term assignment due Friday. Tomorrow you're going to be doing some drawing on the back side. It's the beginning of the reading. On the back side of the rubric, so if you want to flip that over for me, right now on the back side of the rubric, there is what's called an approaching the novel. Go ahead and turn it out right now. So here's the rubric. Okay, here's the rubric. On the back side of the rubric, the approaching the novel. On question 1, it's talking about something very simple, covers. Right now we're going to learn about how to discover a book. This will be a helpful routine for when we go to the library and you're going to select books on your own, books that you don't like or whatever. I want you to be able to limit the amount of books that you hate, finding books that might be interesting to you. So we're going to learn some routine. First routine here is to look at a cover, look at the back, see what the book's about, predicting it based on what you see in front of you. So go ahead and do that right now. You got 1 minute. Go ahead and look at the book and then write down some of the things that you see and what you think they mean. So just 2 sentences. What you see, what they mean. Go.
Maps.
Shh. Should be no talking right now. This is your assignment. You've had plenty of time to socialize. Shh. This is quick. Step by step. Focus with me. You have 10 seconds. All right, cover information. What do you notice about the cover? Let me know. Yeah.
It shows 3 books, one of which is Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, very good. Fine detail right there. So Romeo and Juliet. Is it just random books, or what about those books specifically?
Each one of them has to talk about how they're going against the system and with you.
Oh, that's actually a very intuitive detail. You'd have to know a little bit about those books. So each one of those books might be something to do with rebellion. Did you guys read Romeo and Juliet last year? Yeah. What was sort of the rebellion, for those who have read it? What is sort of the rebellion that's going on there? Yes?
Juliet falling in love with her father's enemy.
Perfect. Father's enemy. So enemies, and did that cause a lot of like safe and good feelings towards everybody, or what happened in the book? Lots of death. It's a tragedy. Do you want people reading about suicide? Don't want that. That makes you less safe because maybe you will do the same. So let's not read it. What is the what do you notice about those books?
They're all on fire.
Are they on fire currently in your book? They're all burned, so they're all sort of the charcoals of the end results of a fire. Very interesting. So maybe we can predict something about the nature of the plot of this book or something like that.
It actually says that the temperature at which books burn.
Oh, so we know the definition if you have one of these smaller books. Some of you have the thinner ones, the longer ones. The shorter ones, the smaller ones, actually describe what Fahrenheit 451 means. So write that down. Fahrenheit 451 is the temperature at which what? Books burn. So there's some sort of book burning description here. So we clearly know what book burning is. What is book burning? If we were to say, it's a literal thing, right, to burn books. But what's maybe a symbolic meaning behind burning books? What is the purpose or the reason behind something like that? Got 2 people that are interested. You guys have, by the way, +5s for you, +5 for you for describing stuff. Thank you. Yes, Noah?
Symbolic.
What do you think the reason is behind burning books? What is the purpose? What do people try and do when they're burning books? Make them forget about those kinds of things. Make them not see those things, Isaac.
Trying to eliminate like someone or something. So if someone's trying to get rid of Christianity, they burn as many Bibles as they
So literally to limit the amount of information people have. Very good. And then did you have something similar? Oh, so throwaways, maybe make a new start. So there might be some positive reasons. If there's a lot of bad books, right? How many of you guys would like to burn like Mein Kampf or something, like some terrible Hitler book, right? We want to burn something bad. Maybe it means that we get a new start. So there might be positive reasons. Yeah, finish this off.
So remove imagination, pretty much. Like,
To remove imagination.
you know,
Is that,
like people's thinking, like how they think.
and it controls people. Let's go with those types of things. So write down that there's a symbolic meaning to book burning. And both pages, both books have fire as essential symbol in their covers? Yeah. Perfect. What else is on that second cover? For those of you who have the special book, the different book. Yes?
fire and destruction.
There's a lot of fire. So what else is in there in the fire, though, that maybe is outlined for us to look at? A bird. There's like a bird or an eagle. And a bird that's on fire, is there like a name for that? Phoenix. Yeah. Phoenix. So for those of you who have the special book, the skinny long book, symbolically rebirth. Very good. Put +5. If you spoke of the phoenix just now, put +5 on your paper. Thank you. Phoenix is a symbol of rebirth. They are literally born from what?
Ashes.
From ashes. So there might be some symbols here of new life, of getting a new start. So that might be something to think about as well. Very good. Very good. Hey, everyone put +2 on your papers for being good at answering these and discussing. I want to help continue. A little bit more difficult now. Number 2, setup. How is the book set up? This is in which you have to open up the inside cover, maybe to a couple pages in, past the title page. Okay, it looks like it has these really skinny text, this tiny text that you've never seen before, you don't care about, you skip. It might tell us some information that we need to know, though, to learn about a book. So I want you to think about its copyright. Where is the copyright located? See if you can locate it. You got 1 minute. Locate the copyright and then look at how many pages there are, and then look at, let's see, what other things on number 2. How many chapters there are, or if there are chapters, how is it structured? Is there anything after your book? Like if you see the book ends and maybe there's more writing somehow? So tell me what you see. 1 minute. Go. You guys have been doing good. Let's continue. Good question. So it said, what is an afterword? That might be something to predict.
Epigraph.
Look at it, see what you think that might be. Make a guess.
When was it?
Good question. What do you think an epigraph might be? Look at that. So if you see something that you might think is an epigraph. Okay, I think this is an epigraph, but I have no idea what it is. It's okay to be wrong. First few pages of the book. You open up the first few pages. Okay. The dates is what we're talking about here. I think this book was created.
What's epigraph?
It's a good question. If you don't know what an epigraph is, we'll walk through it together. If you look that up and tell me, I'll give you
Wait, is this
30, 29, and 87. Good. 10 seconds.
No, is there an after extra reading? Is there an extra part of the book? So code.
Alright, so some of you are learning some terms for the first time. Totally cool, totally normal. Not all these are like the most important information, but it's just good to familiarize yourself, like meeting a new person. Okay, so kind of learning a little bit who they are, what their things are, what they like. Let's start with just the publication date, which is probably the most important information in number 2. What is the publication date according to the book? Yeah. 1998. Okay, did everyone else write down 1998?
No.
Is there any earlier date to this book that you can notice? Notice that there's other dates, perhaps? And then 1998 might be like a different type of date for publishing. Yes?
1953.
1953. Did anyone else write 1953? Very good. So 1953 is the original date. Now 1998, what is that? Okay, so this type of book actually has 1998 as right. So we're going to look at those two dates because mine does more description there. Very good. So some of you have it as 1951 or so. The earliest date, 1950, was a short story that this appeared in. But this isn't a short story, is it? Look how long that is. 1953 is the full and original copy of this book. Now there's been other copies, other prints over the course of time. In 1953, write that down. Next thing. Oh, by the way, 1953. Okay, would you consider that an old book?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty old. I mean, it's older than you. It's older than me. It's older than my grandparents. No, it's not. But it's close to that, right? So older than your dad, your parents, for sure, right? So it's an old book. Think about what was existing and what's not existing in 1953. So we'll be going over that as we read. Now, so that's 1953. Also, think about what they just came out of as a world in the 50s, which we will talk about more on Wednesday. So book burning is connected to a particular world event. Shh, guys, not getting those extra points here. Come on. Setup. How many pages are there? Some of you have 218. That might not be the full. That might not be the story. That might be the whole book. Yeah. So between 170, 160, 170. So write one of those dates down. 218 is great because that's the whole novel. But I'm looking for the specific one, not just the stories at the end. There's some short stories some of you have. Is there chapters? No, what are there?
Parts.
Parts, very good. Everyone put +2 on your paper for shouting parts. I like that. Parts instead of chapters. How many parts? 3, very good. 3 parts, and they have different names. Let me read them. You don't have to write them down. Don't write them down. Heath and the Salamander, Sieve in the Sand, or Sieve in the Sand, and Burning Bright. Okay, Burning Bright, that third thing kind of sounds like Catching Fire or something, right? What is Catching Fire? Mockingjay. It's a Hunger Games reference, right? So a trilogy in parts. This is also a trilogy. This was like the first of the Hunger Games type genre. Okay, they're very different books, but they have similar messages. So this is the first one, 50s versus 2012 or whenever Hunger Games was published, right? So we'll be looking at those. You can see the similarities already. You got fire. You got these symbols here that are very similar. All right, now I want to skip down. I don't care about anything else. There's some afterwords and stuff, but I don't care about that right now. Number 3, author's style. Go ahead and read. Open random page in the middle in your book. Open to a random page. And I want you just to start reading. Okay? You're not going to spoil anything for you. You're not going to know much what's going on. I just want you to feel out what the author's doing. If you're just to hear a song in the middle, what would it sound like? You get a sense of their style. I want you to do the same thing with the author. Go ahead and take 1 minute and just read. Read your author. Learn about him. Learn about his style. What do you notice about how he uses words? Does it seem difficult? Does he have some certain types of literary devices that he uses? No. 1 minute. Should be reading. Read of this random page. Seconds. What do you notice about what you've read? Just anything that comes to mind. Yes. Talks in first person. So point of view, write that down. First person, put +3 on your paper. Thank you. What else? That's a great early details, simple one. What else? Yes?
Figurative language.
What kind of figurative?
Simile.
Very good. What, do you have one in front of you right now?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
He stared at the parlor that was dead and gray as the waters of an ocean that might teem with life if they switched on the electronic sun.
Put +5. That was excellent. Okay, simile. So he's got this indirect comparison between the dead TV and this sort of ocean that's not moving. It's as an ocean of gray. That's a good one. So you see there's going to be a lot of imagery here. In fact, you have a worksheet that we're going to work through in a couple, like 2 minutes, in which we identify tons of images and metaphors and similes. Just in the first page, it's teeming with show, not tell. What else? Yeah? Very creative. And so do you have any other lit device besides the simile that you see there? It's another simile. Read it. I want to hear it.
It says delicately like petals of the flower, and while as he's letting pages.
So there's lighting pages. Delicately like a flower.
Like the petals.
Like a petals of a flower. Very good. Put +5 on your paper. Identifying a simile. Anyone see a metaphor on their page? Something a little different, a little more direct. Right? That might be harder to find. Let's identify them together. Anything else that you notice about your section before we move on? I want to give points away right now. Just throwing them around. No? Making rain points? No? That's all right. So let's move on to author style. You should maybe figure out some figurative language. If there's words, someone mentioned that they saw them spell words differently. Like favorite with a U in the middle, like O-U-R. So there might be some older language here that's no longer used. Okay, someone also noticed that they used the latrine, not a bathroom. Latrine, that's kind of an old word, right? Military kind of word, right? So now, finally, reflections. What are your thoughts now as you're going into this book, not knowing anything about the author, the time period, why it was written, why it's a response to, the themes? You don't know anything. You just know the cover, the 1953, whatever your prior knowledge is. Just tell me what you think this book's going to be about. 2 minutes, or excuse me, 1 minute, and 2 sentences, please. Simple. And then we'll begin reading the first page together. 10 seconds. One step at a time. You guys are doing a great job. Go ahead and put +2 on your papers, just every single person. You guys are doing great. Participate. Go ahead and turn over to your imagery worksheet now, the one that says the directions in bold at the top. Reading the selection from Fahrenheit 451. We're going to do so together. Creative intro to kind of set the mood here. Let's turn off the lights. Turn to page 1. It was a pleasure to burn. It was a special pleasure to see things eaten, to see things blackened and changed. With a brass nozzle in his fist, with the great python spitting its venomous kerosene upon the world, the blood pounded in his head. And his hands were of some amazing conductor playing all the symphonies of blazing and burning to bring down the tatters of charcoal ruins of history. And with the symbolic helmet numbered 451 on his stolid head, and his eyes all orange flame with the thought of what came next, he flicked the igniter, and the house jumped up in a gorging fire that burned the evening sky red and yellow and black. He strode in a swarm of fireflies. He wanted above all, like the old joke, to shove a marshmallow on a stick in the furnace. But the flapping pigeon-wing books died on the porch and the lawn of the house. And while the books went up in a sparkling whirls and blew away on the wind, turned dark with burning, Montag grinned the fierce grin of all men singed and driven back by flame. He knew that when he returned to the firehouse, he might wink at himself. A minstrel man, burnt corked in the mirror. And later, going to sleep, he would feel the fiery smile still gripped by his face muscles in the dark. It never went away, that smile. It never ever went away as long as he remembered. Pausing there for a second. Going back to page 3. And on your imagery worksheet, go ahead and underline any images that you saw or felt as you read that, particularly the showing, not telling kind. Right? Notice, I don't know, you tell me what's one of the first images that you saw in his opening. Well, fire is the pleasure to burn. Things are not just said. He didn't say I love fire. He says I love seeing things eaten, blackened, and changed. Makes it different. He likes destroying things. Yes.
With brass nozzle in his face.
Good. He's got this brass nozzle. Now that's a literal phrase, right? What is he talking about?
Some sort of
Yeah, big fire hose. But what comes out of this fire hose?
Fire.
Literally like a flamethrower. It's got venomous kerosene, like a what? Like a large python. Very good. Like a large python. So that's a good image. Underline that. Like a python spitting its venomous kerosene. Blood's pounding in his head, meaning he's not that he's anxious or excited, but that he's literally showing you that his blood's rushing. Right? He's excited about this. He's like a conductor playing the symphonies of blazing and burning. He's the master. Underline that. There's a symbolic helmet. They literally tell you it's a symbol. And the words 451, we kind of know what this is. This is a... When you see people with like insignias, like symbols on them, what do you know about them? Are they just random Joes on the street? And they have like special helmets or special uniforms. What do we call these people? Firefighters are special people, right? They're people of authority. So these symbols here that let them know, I have the authority to destroy. They're sanctioned by their government to control. Burning in the evening sky, red, yellow, black. So we have some colors there. What else? Give me one more. What do you notice about those books?
they were whisked away into the air.
Yeah, they're kind of like blowing, flapping pigeon wing books died on. Why call them pigeon wing books?
Because they like flap.
The way they look, maybe they're flapping up. When have you guys lit a piece of paper on fire?
Yeah.
Watch it kind of.
Does
Does it fall on the ground? Does it kind of goes up, goes lighter for a while. So it's like pigeon wings. So kind of. Not only that, but also a book kind of looks like a bird. But it's kind of cool to call it a bird. Birds are like bad creatures or like nice creatures. They're beautiful creatures. And so if you see a pigeon-winged book kind of burning up, it's almost like a bird that's being killed, right? Like a phoenix. There you go. You're starting to think now, making connections there. While the books went up in a sparkling whirls and blew, the wind turned dark with burning. And he is happy or sad about it?
Happy.
Yeah, he's grinning. He's grinning like someone who's used to this. And we're going to continue with it now. He hung up his black beetle-colored helmet and shined it. He hung his flame-proof jacket neatly. He showered luxuriously and then whistling, hands in his pockets, walked across the upper floor of the fire station and fell down the hole. And at the last moment, when disaster seemed positive, he pulled his hands from his pockets and broke his fall by grasping the golden pole. He slid to a squeaking halt, his heels 1 inch from the concrete floor downstairs. Kind of a useless detail, except when it tells us something about our character.
He's strong.
He's strong. That's a good one. So he's able to stop himself real quick. You know those firehouses? They have those poles that they go down. They go down fast. Well, he's
arrogant.
He's literally just fallen off, and then at the last second can grab himself. He's arrogant. Very good. Now he could have just said he's arrogant, but now we get to infer things because we get to see it. Show, not tell. What else can we say? He's strong and arrogant. What else?
He's a risk taker.
Risk taker, very good. So he likes that living on the edge. You know, firefighters or police officers, they kind of like to live on the edge a little bit, kind of intense. Adrenaline junkies, BMX bikers, motocross, all those kind of guys live on the edge. Yes, what else?
He's a pyromaniac.
Pyromaniac. Well, but we don't. Do we know that by the pole detail? We know that from his other details, right? About grinning.
Very neat.
He's what?
Very neat.
He's very neat. He's like he likes to shower luxurious. Oh, and he's shining, so he's kind of like got. Very good. So he's got detailed man. He's a detail. Very good. What else? These are all correct. I have another specific, simple one here. To know when to stop yourself, what does that require?
Rip strength.
Yeah, not physical things. Think about something about his past or his history.
He's had to have experience.
He's done it a lot, hasn't he? To know like exactly when you're going to pull your hands out to grab the, you've done it 1,000 times, right? So he's experienced. Very good. These are all good thoughts about it. So I want you to think about underneath the detail. Why is he saying this? Always ask your question why. And when you start your notes, you'll start taking quotes and start saying, why is he saying this? What is important about this? What does this tell me about the character's theme, imagery, let me show and not tell it? He walked out of the fire station along the midnight street toward the subway where the silent air-propelled train slid soundlessly down a lubricated flue in the earth and led him out with a great puff of warm air onto the cream-tiled escalator rising to the suburb. Run-on sentences, but kind of got a staccato 1950s beat to it. Okay? So we're getting a lot of images here. Whistling, he let the escalator waft him into the still night air. And he walked around the corner, thinking little at all about nothing in particular. And before he reached the corner, however, he slowed as if a wind had sprung up from nowhere, as if someone had called his name. The last few nights, he had most uncertain feelings about this sidewalk just around the corner. Here, moving into the starlight towards his house, he had felt that a moment prior to his making the turn, someone had been there. The air seemed charged with a special calm, as if someone had waited there quietly. And only a moment before he came, simply turned to a shadow and let him through. So he's feeling someone's eyes on him. Perhaps his nose detected a faint perfume. Maybe someone's a girl, perhaps. Perhaps the skin on the back of his hands on his face let the temperature rise at one spot when a person might raise the temperature atmosphere maybe 10 degrees, just for an instant. So he's feeling the presence of someone. There was no understanding it. Each time he made the turn, he only saw the white, unused, buckling sidewalk, with perhaps on one night something vanishing swiftly across the lawn. So he's tired. He's seeing some things in the peripheral. It's that weary hour when you're trying to go home. But now tonight, he slowed almost to a stop. His inner mind reaching out to turn the corner for him, he heard the faintest whisper. Breathing. Or was the atmosphere compressed merely by someone standing very quietly there waiting? And he turned the corner. That's where we'll stop. I don't want to get away from him. He's going to meet somebody here. He's going to bump into somebody. He's feeling someone's presence. One there. That's a good thing. Hopefully that gets you kind of engaged with the story a little bit. Turn on the lights, please. We'll get caught up. I know today was slow. I was kind of walking you through step by step. Please keep all these worksheets. The imagery worksheet that you should have been underlining. You're going to finish those questions. You're going to draw on the back tomorrow. It's going to be due Friday. The packet is due at the end of September. You'll also add some journals to it. You'll learn this process. It'll be easy after a while. Don't worry. Hope you guys enjoyed the intro to this book. Hopefully you're interested in it. Please make sure that there's no gaps in your desk, no trash on the ground, and have a good day, guys. See you tomorrow. You too. Take care. Yeah, it's unlocked. Bottom shelf of this room. If not, top shelf.
Morris, I need to put this back.
Bye.
My ear.
Bye.
Good up, Mauricio.
No. Stop it. I'm going to hit you. I can't hit you. I'm going to hit you, obviously.
Well.
What is it? Hold on to that. So, oh, last week, yeah. I keep forgetting to say that. No worries. I haven't graded them yet, so it's okay. Take care. Bye. See ya. Can you come in here and just kind of tidy up a little bit?
Someone else to go up.
Just put all the desks together. Bye, Isaac.
Why is there 2 books here?
I don't know. There should just be 4 books in this.
In the corner?
Each one in this corner. Yeah. Just in this corner here.
Yeah, freshmen?
No, sophomores. Just like you guys. You read this book, did you?
Yes, I did.
Yes, you did.
Your phone's ringing.
It's just a timer.
Oh,
Let me know that period's up.
why is your class slip? Is this desk even go here, Morris?
I forgot to. We were doing an intro and I didn't do that. Huh?
Is this desk go here?
Yeah, it's fine. We need to get practice with our cleaning routines. Yeah, I didn't have time to.
Yeah,
They'll
but
learn.
we get it suck.
They'll learn.
No, they
Is there a
won't.
book right here that goes right there, maybe? There was 5 on
Right here.
There's.
So you're missing one.
Wasn't missing one. Not this one. Shouldn't be missing.
Yeah, you are.
Okay, thanks.
Um,
Bye.